Hello everybody, my name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com and welcome to another video. And this time around, it's all about the Argentine players in the Champions League. And we're going to talk about the ones that are there this season and also what's been going on with the Argentine players in this tournament in the past couple of years. They went from pretty much dominating and winning every single season to not so much anymore. And we're going to talk about that and we're going to talk about this season, and let's just get to it. There are 25 Argentine players in the Champions League this season. 8 groups, 25 players. And the last Argentine to actually lift the trophy is not even taking part in the tournament this season. Who is it? Stay tuned. We'll get to him in just a minute. Let's kick things off. In Group A, we have none other than Ajax, Liverpool, Napoli, and Rangers. And the only Argentine player in this group is Giovanni Simeone, the striker. He recently joined them, and it's his first time in the Champions League. He's never taken part in the tournament before, and it'll be very interesting to see if Napoli do end up qualifying for the knockout stages. Now, historically, if you look at it, Napoli, not the biggest club in Italy. However, they have qualified, and if they've qualified, it means they're good enough to be there, and who knows what can happen now. Are they the favorites to top the group? Are they the favorites to even qualify for the next round? Probably not, but surprises. You never know what could happen. So Simeone, the only Argentine in this group. Moving on to Group B, the second group, we have FC Porto, Atletico Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, and Club Brugge. And there are 4 Argentine players in this group. We have Rodrigo de Paul, Angel Correa, Nahuel Molina, and Ezequiel Palacios. And those 4 there, all 4 of them part of the Argentina national team with Lina Scaloni. And De Paul, I mean, we know what he's capable of. Correa, in my opinion, very much underrated, and underrated not only for Argentina, but underrated for Atletico Madrid. I feel like Simeone's not utilizing him enough, and he's not getting the proper credit and the proper recognition that he deserves. And the third one, the most recent signing of Atletico Madrid, at least in terms of Argentines, Molina, the right back. And it'll be very, very cool to see those 3 hopefully on the pitch together at the same time and getting that Champions League for them. Neither one of these players has won the trophy before. Diego Simeone's obviously made the finals before with Atletico, hasn't able to win it. Hopefully they're able to lift the big one for themselves and for Simeone as well. And this is going to be a big, big season for all of those players. And in regards to Ezequiel Palacios, well, in my opinion, one that could be probably, on the fringes of the World Cup. It at times it looks like his spot is secured, and then at other times not so much. And hopefully, I like Palacios, and it'll be fun to see him in the Champions League, to see what he can do. And he has a lot to prove because his starting spot is gone. He's not starting anymore for Argentina, and he's gonna push. He's got to push to make that World Cup team. So those are the Argentine players so far. Let's get to Group C, and in Group C, it's a big one: Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter, and Victoria Pilsen. And we have 2 Argentine players, Lautaro Martinez and Joaquin Correa. Lautaro, the machine, the goal scorer for Inter, the goal scorer for Argentina. I would love to see him leave Italy, leave Inter, not because I don't think he's a good fit there. I absolutely think he's a good fit there, but I think if he wants to win the Champions League, I'm not sure if an Italian side or specifically Inter are the team for him. I think he can play in any league in the world, be it Spain, be it England, be it Germany. I think he's that good. I rate him that highly. And still, he still played very, very well. For example, last season in the Champions League against Liverpool, for example, the finalists. And he could do it a lot. He could do a lot. So hopefully he's able to continue to perform, and there's no doubt about it, and get to that World Cup in great, great form. The other one, Joaquin Correa, the substitute pretty much for Lautaro, both for Inter and for Argentina. Not the most prolific in front of goal, although he does do the dirty work. It's just when it gets to the front of the goal, he often misses. He often misses, but he does get himself into goal scoring opportunities. Let's get to Group D, and Group D is none other than the Europa League champions Frankfurt, Tottenham, Sporting, and Marseille. And we have Lucas Alario, Cristian Romero, and Leonardo Balerdi. And the only one really that's part of the national team is Cuti Romero of Tottenham. Lucas Alario, part of the national team when Scaloni first took over, and then with the injuries, and he missed out on the Copa America, hasn't really played for the national team since, and he's on the outside of the national team looking in. Will he make it to the World Cup in Qatar? Unlikely. Who knows? You never know. But unlikely we will be seeing him at the tournament. Cuti Romero, we know all about Cristian Romero. We've spoken about him a bunch of times on this channel, in our videos, on social media, on MundoAlbiceleste.com. There's nothing that hasn't already been said about Cristian Romero. And similar to Lautaro Martinez, I think if Cuti wants to win the Champions League, he has to leave, maybe not England, but has to leave Tottenham Hotspur. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think he's doing well at Tottenham. Presently injured, but will probably be ready by the time the Champions League kicks off. And Balerdi is another one. Balerdi's actually been part of the national team before when Scaloni took over. And he's, his move to Marseille, he's done well, he's played well, but he's fallen off the radar. The emergence of, for example, Cristian Romero, of Lisandro Martinez, of Marco Senesi, recently called up as well. So Balerdi's still very, very young, though, and could be one for the future. Best of luck to him. Moving on to the next group, and we are looking at Group E: AC Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg, and Dinamo Zagreb. And the only Argentine in this one is Nicolas Capaldo, the only one for Salzburg, and in all likelihood probably will not make it to the next round. Favorites appear to be Milan and Chelsea, but again, I got to repeat myself, you never know what can happen, and especially in the Champions League. But Capaldo, one that hasn't been called up to the national team just yet, but you never know what could happen, especially after the World Cup. Next up, we have Group F, and oh boy, Real Madrid, Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Celtic. And there's only one Argentine in here for Celtic, recently signed Alexandro Bernabei. And he's recently had some problems ever since joining Celtic off the pitch. Reports of him driving under the influence, but that's off the pitch. On the pitch, definitely one for the future. The Argentine, especially in his position, the left back position, Nicolas Tagliafico, Marcos Acuna, not really getting any younger. So after the World Cup and that move to Celtic, I mean, guaranteeing at this stage, anyways, guaranteeing Champions League football. He's there this season. Will he be there next season? Probably could have a good chance there. So it'll be very, very cool to see him make his Champions League debut for Celtic. Next up, we have Group G. This is a big one. 6 Argentine players in Group G: Manchester City, Sevilla, Dortmund, and Copenhagen. Julian Alvarez, the only Argentine there for City. Sevilla, 5 representatives, the most out of any club in the Champions League this season in terms of Argentine players. Lucas Ocampos, Marcos Acuna, Gonzalo Montiel, Eric Lamela, the former Tottenham Hotspur man, and Papu Gomez, Alejandro Papu Gomez. Sevilla specialists when it comes to the Europa League. They've won it several times. However, they haven't won the big one in terms of the Champions League. It is a big season. I've spoken about this in regards to Julian Alvarez in the last video, where I don't think he'll be starting many of the big matches for Manchester City. I think it's going to be Haaland, and a couple of matches into the season, we've already seen that. Alvarez, more of a substitute player. However, it is a long season. You do have the league and the Champions League and everything. So you never know. He might get some opportunities. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does well and scores and contributes. I have no doubt in my mind that he will and that he can. He is capable of it. And for him, going into the World Cup, if he can get some goals, especially in the Champions League, to boost up that confidence, not a bad thing. As for the other Argentines in this group, for the national team, Ocampos battling to get into the squad. Acuna Montiel and Papu Gomez, they're pretty much guaranteed of a spot at the World Cup. And Eric Lamela, one from the past. We've never really spoken too much about Lamela on this channel. Very, very talented. For whatever reason, maybe it was his time in England, maybe it was the injuries, maybe it was a bunch of stuff, never really worked out for him. And I rate him as high as Javier Pastore, for example. I think they could have had better careers. I think the talent is definitely there for the both of them. But for whatever reason, I don't believe they ever truly, truly reached their heights. But Lamela, the Rabona king, and he has the skills, he has the talent to turn a game around very, very easily. So best of luck to the Argentines in this group. And then we're getting to the final group, in my opinion, the other big one, Group H, PSG, Juventus, Benfica, and Maccabi Haifa. And there's a lot of different plots going around in this one. So the Argentines, we have Lionel Messi, Leandro Paredes, Mauro Icardi, Angel Di Maria, Matias Sule, Nicolas Otamendi, and Enzo Fernandez. And Angel Di Maria with Juventus joined them from PSG. And Leandro Paredes with PSG set to join Juventus. So there are already two plots going on there. Juventus, Di Maria against his old team, and Paredes probably against his old team as well, if he does end up joining Juventus. And if he doesn't join Juventus, well, it's going to be Paredes and Messi and probably Mauro Icardi, but probably not Mauro Icardi against Di Maria. And the reason why probably not Mauro Icardi, well, Icardi's being linked with a move to Turkey, a move away from PSG. So he might not be there when the Champions League starts, although presently he is still a PSG player. And Matias Sule, I was sort of hesitant to include him in this one, just because he is really more of a youth player, but he has been part of the Juventus team this season and even played a match. So I did include him. Still very, very young, part of Javier Mascherano's Argentina under-20 team, and definitely one for the future. And then the last but absolutely not least, Otamendi, Enzo Fernandez. Otamendi, just a monster. And Enzo Fernandez has really done extremely well since joining Benfica. Rumors are circulating that Enzo might end up being called up to the national team in September for those two friendly matches. And it's going to be a battle. 7 Argentines in this group, the most out of any group in the Champions League this season. So we have Messi against Otamendi, Di Maria against his old club. Paredes, is he going to play against his old club? Will Matias Sule get to play against PSG or against Benfica or against Maccabi Haifa in the Champions League, the youngster? Otamendi, what's he going to do? Enzo Fernandez already scored a goal in the Champions League qualifiers. Will he score one in the Champions League itself? So this is a massive, massive group, in my opinion, and not a cakewalk for any one of these teams. So we have a minimum of 25 Argentine players. And now I say minimum because out of all the teams qualified, there are other Argentine players, but part of their youth clubs. And I didn't include them because in all likelihood, they will not be taking part in the Champions League itself. The last Argentine player, I mentioned this at the start of the video, the last Argentine player to win the Champions League is not in this tournament this season. Take a second, I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to think about who it might be. Now, as for the ones in this tournament that have won it, I mean, Lionel Messi, Angel Di Maria, and that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. And the last one to win it, you ready for this? Willy Caballero with Chelsea when they defeated Manchester City 2 seasons ago now in 2021. So the last one, Caballero. And when you look at it, when you really look at the history of the Argentine players in the Champions League, if you go back, 15, 16, 17 years, whatever it may be. If you look at 2005, for example, you had Crespo with AC Milan. In 2006, a young Lionel Messi and Maxi Lopez with Barcelona. 2007, Mascherano with Liverpool. 2008, Tevez with Manchester United. 2009, Messi was there for Barcelona. 2010, Inter. I mean, Zanetti, Samuel, Cambiaso, Diego Milito. They won it with Inter. Then you had Messi and Gabriel Milito making the semifinals. Throw in Di Maria and Higuain throughout those couple of years as well, when they would make the semifinals with Real Madrid. Mascherano in there when he joined, and he would win it alongside Messi. Di Maria in 2014. So a lot of Argentine players throughout those years would dominate and make the final and win it, or make the semifinals. So a lot of them. And in recent years, it hasn't been the case. It really hasn't been the case. No Argentine representatives last year at all between Real Madrid and Liverpool. The year prior, it was Willy Caballero with Chelsea, Sergio Aguero with Manchester City, Aguero's last season for City. And then before that, if you go back, and before that, not many Argentine representatives there. And it's almost as if, the number of Argentine players playing for the top elite, let's say, it's sort of diminished in recent years. I mean, yes, we had PSG a couple of years ago where Paredes and Di Maria were there in the final, and I think Icardi was there as well, and they came close against Bayern. Don't get me wrong, they came close, but for whatever reason, especially if you compare it to the years that I just went through, it's not the same. And if your name is not Messi, or if your name is not Di Maria, you haven't touched that Champions League trophy if you're an Argentine still playing for a top European team, unfortunately. And hopefully that can change this time around, because, I spoke about Lautaro Martinez, but is he playing for a Champions League favorite? No, he's not. But is he starting for Inter? Is he scoring? Absolutely. And that's obviously helping the national team. But if we're talking about specifically just what Argentine players are doing in the Champions League, in my opinion, I hate to see it. I hate to see it because they're not, the number of Argentine players playing at the top, if you compare them to, I don't like to compare, but if you compare them to, for example, Brazilians, I mean, with Liverpool has several Brazilian players. Madrid has, or at least had, several Brazilian players on the squad. They still do have a Brazilian in there. And throughout the years, I mean, with Manchester City as well, Chelsea as well, the year that they won it. So throughout the years, Brazil's always kind of been there, and Argentine players have always been there. But the last couple of seasons, not as much. And hopefully, we get to see a Champions League with at least one Argentine lifting it this season. I'll be honest, if we look at the favorites, you have to throw in Manchester City in there. I mean, Julian Alvarez, and then obviously City as a whole, a very, very strong team. Bayern Munich are always there. PSG this season look a different side to previous seasons, and I mean that in a good way. They're really playing well. They're playing with the strategy. Liverpool can obviously make it and surprise. Madrid's always a favorite, and they have that experience, although there's no Argentine there, except if you want to count Nicolas Paz, who's part of their youth team. So hopefully we get to see an Argentine. Who do you think wins the Champions League this season? Do we get an Argentine that lifts it this season? Yes or no? Last season, the big ones were Madrid and Chelsea. They made the final, but you had Gio Lo Celso, you had Juan Foyth, you had Geronimo Rulli that ended up making the semifinals, but just fell a little bit short. Do we get another sort of Cinderella type run with a different team? Do we not? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Who do you think wins it? I know it's very early. A ball hasn't even been kicked yet, but let me know. Who do you think wins it? Who out of the Argentine players do you think will surprise everybody? Is there going to be a standout performer? And do we get an Argentine lifting the Champions League trophy? Let me know. And if you like the video, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that notifications button to be the first person notified as soon as a new video drops. Once more, my name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com, and thank you for watching.